Oh, hi there, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. So we're here today to talk about the new guidebook templates and what this can mean for your short-term rental business or any type of business you're trying to run, and how our new templates can be applicable to you. So I'll jump right in and crack on. A little bit of housekeeping. There will be a Q&A session at the end today. So if you have a question, please put it in the Q&A box, not the chat box. Pop it in the Q&A box and I'll make sure that is answered. And that's it. Let's crack on. Lovely. So what we'll cover in the session today. So we're going to look at those new guidebook templates so you can see what's now available to you in the world of TouchStay, how to manage those templates in your account, what might have changed, what new features there are so you can get the most out of it, a few tips to organize your account to help you save time and make life easy, and then of course the Q&A, because I'm sure there'll be lots of questions and lots of fun things we can get into. So the first thing to do is talk to you about our new templates. So we have a list here of the new templates that you can now add to your single TouchStay account. So why did we release these templates? So after talking with lots of our customers, those that have hundreds of properties that they're managing and those even just with one or two properties. So it's the spectrum of all, we have customers of all types and sizes. Many customers told us that they'd opened a duplicate account or a separate TouchStay account to their original one so that they could have a different type of template. So customers were taking the original short-term rental template, changing the content and turning it into a cleaning guide or a guide to their local area or whatever else they wanted to use for their business. So taking that original short-term rental template that was intended for their guests and using it for something new. So we decided, based on this feedback, that we would make it easier for our customers to do this. So we now have 11 templates that exist, with more on the way. We're going to keep adding more based on your requests. So if you do have a request for a type of template that you'd love to see, pop that in the Q&A and I'll get to that and share that with the product team. And this is all so it can make your life easier to manage more of your business in TouchStay. So instead of managing lots of different things in different tools, different logins, and having lots of different processes, the goal is to really help you centralize much more of your business in one place. So what do I mean by this? Maybe I can give you a bit of an illustration. So it's really all about, as I've said, having the ability to manage multiple types of guides, so these different templates under one account and one login. So a lot of our customers up until now, they've had their property guides in one account and their cleaning guides in another account, and maybe their destination guide in another. So that's 3 different accounts, 3 logins, 3 different sets of content, and it's a lot to manage separately. It's just not an efficient way of working. So now you can still have all of those different types of template, but it's under one account with one login. And I'll show you how that all works in just a minute. And the great thing you can do is you can adapt these existing templates. So you can take what we've created for you to speed up the guide creation process and then make it your own. Really adapt it to the needs of your business. And we also have a create your own template now. So it's like a blank template. So you can go in and build it from scratch if you wish to. So it's super flexible based on what you're trying to achieve. And you can also use Memo, our messaging tool that sends emails and SMS text messages to schedule communications with your team, your cleaners, your maintenance crew, whoever it is that you need to chat with. And one of the great things that we'll be doing soon is a new little update to this, where once you've got your reservations or guest booking details and those dates in your account, whether that's through a PMS, a property management software integration, or if you directly upload your reservation through a file, as lots of our customers do, you can use that data to trigger messages and other activity across multiple templates. So it's just really making things a lot easier and saving you a lot of time. So sounds great, doesn't it? So how to kind of bring this to life. So I wanted to give you an example from Tyann Marsink. She is a property manager. She has around 35 properties, I believe, and she's the queen of guest experience at TouchStay. So she's a power TouchStay user. And Tyann has her brand, which is Branson Family Retreats. She has other brands as well, but this is the main one we'll focus on now. And she's using 4 different types of TouchStay template to manage her business. So first of all, she has her property guide. Of course, that's how she gets all of the important information to her guests. So guests have an amazing experience and keep coming back for more every year. And the next is her field guide. So this is the guide that goes out to her field team. So the people that are out there going into the properties, dealing with customers, managing customer service, and really being that first point of contact on the ground. So super important for them to have the information that they need to make sure that those guests are kept happy and their expectations are met. The next is the standard property appearance, so the cleaning guide. This is basically, so once your property has been vacated and the guests have gone home, that cleaning crew can come in and they have a very clear guide by room, part by part of the house, of the property, inside and outside. They can know very, very clearly what the expectations are and what your levels of cleanliness are, and have a lovely visual guide. You can have videos, images, everything to really show very clearly what standard your property needs to be kept in, so that every time guests come back, they have a beautiful experience. And then the last one Tyann has here, because Tyann is a property manager, she works with property owners because she's managing those properties on behalf of the owners. So this is a great way of managing communication with those owners, setting expectations and making sure they have all of the information that they need to have. And this is all managed from one TouchStay account. So it's very, very easy for Tyann and her team to use these guides to really make their lives much easier and just have everything that's related to the operations of the business mostly in one place. So hopefully this is giving you a flavor of what these templates can be used for and bringing it to life, but there's no better way of bringing it to life than a little demo. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and jump into my TouchStay account and show you what that all looks like. So never share my screen properly. I'm not very good at this. You'd think I would be after all this time. Okay, lovely. So super. So now you can see my TouchStay account. Oh, no, you can't. You can now. Wonderful. So here you can see my TouchStay account. So this has landed me on the Content Hub page. So let me walk you through how this all looks, because a lot of you will be thinking, well, we've just released this left-hand navigation and now we've got these templates that everything has moved around. So let me show you where it all is. So you can see on the top bar here that this says house guides. So I know here, because this says house guides, that I am in the Content Hub and the template of my house guides. So if I click on this little drop down, this is a list of all of the templates that I have in my account. But I can see, because I've named this one house guides, which is my short-term rental template, that I am in that house guides template. So what's included in this template? Let me make that nice and clear. So the first thing, as I've said, is Content Hub. So this is all of the content that goes into my property guides, and I have 2 of them. You can expand or collapse all of this content here, however you like using it, a nice top tip. But this is all of the content relating to my property guides that are linked to my short-term rental template. So if I click on guides here, this will show me the 2 guides that are linked to this template. So I have the top one here, which is for when I do home exchanges. Highly recommend it. It's a great platform. Go check them out. And then I have one called Casa Jane here, which is my test account for demoing lots of great TouchStay features. So both of these guides are linked to the content in my content hub here that sits what I've named as my house guides. So my memo is also linked to that. So all of the communications that I send out for those 2 guides sits here. And of course, my data dashboard as well. So all of the data that's relating to the guest experience, the guest views and usage of those 2 guides all sits in my one data dashboard here. So that's what your template is. It's your guides, your content hub, memo, and it's your data dashboard. All of that under one template. So let me show you how you can switch between templates and everything else. So we go back to the little drop down here. These are the names of all the templates I have, and I'm going to add other template. I click that button, and this takes me to kind of the home page of templates. This shows you all of the templates that I have in my account. So let me explain this page to you. So I have 6 templates. The name here is a name that I've created myself because those names make sense to me. So, and then here we have the template type. So I can see that my house guides, the name I gave it, that's on the short-term rental template. and the cleaning guide is on the cleaning guide template. One template I have is team onboarding. I was doing a little fun onboarding for some colleagues, and I used the create your own template because I wanted to build it from scratch. There are two here where one is an event guide and one is a city guide, and they're still on the short-term rental template. That's kind of don't have to worry about that. That's a little quirk because I've moved things around because I have a much older TouchStay account. So don't worry about that. And then you can see here, I've got another city guide, and that's on the destination guide template. So these template types are the ones that you can add. You can change the name of the template so it makes sense for you. And here we can see the number of guides that sit on each of these templates. So as I said before, on my house guides, there are 2 guides there. I have 1 guide in my event template, and I also have one guide each in my city guides as well. So let me show you how to add a new template. So it's very easy. You go to the Add Template button. You select the type of template that you want. They're all listed here. I'm going to, let's have some fun. I'll add a wedding template. So I'm going to call this Emma's Wedding. And I click Save. Lovely. Now, this is a really useful message. So it says, do you want to switch to the new template now? So instead of staying on my house guides template, I'm going to click yes, and it's going to take me into my wedding template. So I click yes. You can see that this at the top has changed to Emma's Wedding, and now I can see the master content here. So if I expand everything, you can see all of the content that is the template that has been automatically created for me. So all the fun stuff. Lovely. And if you're trying to get a top tip, if you're getting familiar with a new template, you can use the really great search button here. What's a good example? So I'm going to search for location. And this brings up all the places location is mentioned in this template. So about the location, great. That's taken me to this category, this topic, and the subcategory. So I can go in here, edit this topic, and I can see that I have content to be updated in the location section. Great. So that is, I'm going to close all of those. So that is my wedding template. So that once the template is created, the next thing you have to do is create a guide for this template. So I go over to guides on the left-hand side, and I click add guide. I'm going to call this Emma's Wedding. I'm going to get married in Spain, I have decided. And I'm going to just upload a cover photo because why not? Lovely. Super duper. And there we have my guide created. So you can see now this guide is linked to this template. Any content that I adapt and change here will get added to this guide. So if we go and have a look at the preview of the guide that's created as soon as you create it with the standard content, everything's here. Lovely. So that's my wedding guide. Super. So I want to go back into templates now to explain a few of the things that you can do. So if I scroll to the bottom, I've got 7 templates now. I go back to add other template. And here I can see all of my lovely templates. And there's my lovely wedding one that was just added. Something really cool that you can do, which I've certainly used, is you can duplicate a template. So this is what I did. You see here I have 2 city guides. I have a city guide for Barcelona and a city guide for Buenos Aires. So what I did to create my Buenos Aires city guide, because it came after the Barcelona one, what I did was I clicked the 3 dots here and I clicked duplicate template. And this is taking the city guide Barcelona that I already created. And what I did was give it a name. Let's say I'm going to do a city guide for London, because I used to live in London. I should know it pretty well. I click save, and you can see that I now have City Guide London, and that's taken all of the content that was in my destination, my Barcelona City Guide, and created it here. So if I go back to where I can choose between which template I'm in, I'm going to go to the City Guide London. Oh, and I'm going to go to Content Hub. You can see here I'm on the City Guide. And I'll be able to see here that all of the content that I previously created for my other city guide has been copied over completely. So it's a really great way of duplicating all of the content that you already have, but putting it in another template so it's completely separate to the one that you had before. So it's super useful if you are doing event guides, if you're doing city guides, cleaning guides for different properties, or if you want to do local area guides for different properties. It's a really great way of just having everything nice and separate. That's kind of how my brain works. I like things to be separate. So that's one of the great additional features that this new functionality has. One last thing I want to show you is you're probably thinking, okay, now I understand my templates. I understand how the guides and the data dashboard and the memo messaging all sits under that one template. What about my account settings? So you have a layer that sits over that. So if we go up to the top right-hand corner and we click on this little fella here, we click on profile, this gives you all of your profile details. So you have your login and password, you have your personal details, and here you have your team. So this is the user roles, or the users as we call them, and the roles that you assign to them to give access to your TouchStay account. And now you have multiple templates in one account. You want to be able to make sure that the access you're giving to different people, different team members, is structured in an appropriate way. Maybe you have people that are only working on certain guides, so you only want them to have access to one template. Maybe you want people to have access to all of your templates. The good news is you get to choose. So I'll show you how we do this. So I'll just create a new user, and I'm gonna call her Alice at TouchStay. I'm adding you, Alice. So all you do is add the email address. You choose the role. So admin means that they're an administrator of the account. Editor means they can edit content of the templates that you assign them to, or they are the viewer. So they can't edit anything, they can just view. So I'm going to make Alice an admin because I trust Alice. And I'm going to click save. And you can see here that that user has been created. So if I click on the three dots to the right here, I can choose to view or edit. What I can see now is the templates that Alice has access to. Now, I've decided that I only want Alice to have access to my city guides because she's going to help me with those city guides. So I simply remove the ones that I don't want Alice to have access to. So there we go. She's not coming to the wedding. Sorry, Alice. So here you can see just the 3 city guides Alice can now have access to as an admin. And I can go back anytime and change the role access that Alice has. If I wanted to just be an editor or to just be a viewer, I can change that here. So I click save. Lovely. And one last thing I will show you, because it might be a question someone's already thought of. I'm going to go back into my templates. And it's very easy, if you want to delete a template. So the city guide that I just created, that's the city guide template, I don't want that anymore. It's not going to be useful for me. So I click on the 3 dots and I click delete. You'll be asked to type in the word delete. To make sure you really want to delete it, and you can't do it by accident, you click delete and it's gone. Oh, and this is a really useful warning that comes up that I wanted you to see. So you can't delete a template that you are in. You have to be in another template to delete another one. So I click out of that. I'm going to just jump into my house guides template. Lovely. And now I can come back here and click delete on the London City Guide. Delete. And it should happily delete itself. My Wi-Fi isn't super, so maybe it's just taking a bit of time. But that's how it works. There we go, nice and simple. So that's a bit of a crash course into explaining templates and how they all work. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and pop back in to then show you a few little top tips that I think will be really helpful, and just to cover off some of the things that I know that I have learnt are really useful whilst I've been going through doing this myself, because all of these templates are new to me also. So that's our demo done. So a few tips, some of them I covered, but I wanted to go back over some of these to keep them fresh in your mind. So these are just a few time-saving ideas to keep your account nice and organized. So remember, you can duplicate content. So if you've created a guide and you're very happy with it and you know you want to use that again, but for a different property, a different event, you want to have completely separate guides, you can do that. So you just use the duplicate template feature and everything will be duplicated, and then you can adjust it as you need to. So it's a really nice time saver. If you want to have lots of guides that share content and have very similar content, this one is not for you. But if you want things to be really separate, this is a great little time-saving hack. The next is to rename your templates. As you saw, that I renamed mine to house guides because they're my house guides. That's just the way I think of it, and that makes sense to me. And the way I renamed the destination guides to my city guides, because that's what I'm using that template for. You can completely rename your templates based on the property name, the name of your business, the brand, whatever you would like to do. It's very flexible. So feel free to change those so they make sense to you and to your team. Remember that you can assign users at the template level. So you don't have to give everyone access to all of your templates. If some of them have more sensitive information or they're only to be managed by one part of your business and not by everyone, you can use the user roles to assign different users to different templates. Again, you can add people, remove people. It's very flexible. And another top tip is you can manage separate brands under separate templates. So if you have multiple brands, you can set up each brand per template. So you could use, say you have 3 different short-term rental brands, you could have 3 different short-term rental templates. It's still the same core template that's created, but you're able to kind of split up that branding, and it's a much easier way to manage multiple brands in TouchStay. I know it's made the lives of a few of our customers easy already, so I wanted to share that one. So hopefully that's been a really nice introduction to our new template types and the different ways you can use them to manage more of your business in TouchStay. Q&A time. So do we have any questions? I'm going to jump into the Q&A now and see what people have asked. Oh, where's my Q&A? It's not popping up. That's fine. I'll stop sharing my screen, then I can see the Q&A box. Lovely. So, we have a good number of questions. So I'll go through these in order. So a question from Annabelle. I have created one cleaning guide and one general guide within the house guide to give guests who haven't booked yet so they can see what they get. So your question is, can you move one of those guides to a new template? Yes, you absolutely can. There's a way that you can do it yourself. I didn't go into that on this call because it's this webinar. It's quite an advanced thing, and I've done it myself and I got a little bit flummoxed. So I recommend, Annabelle, if you just send an email to support@touchstay.com, they'll be able to explain to you that process. It's really simple, but it can be a bit fiddly, so I didn't want to go through it on this call. But yes, if you already have things in separate accounts and you want them merged into one account, we can do that as well. But if you have multiple types of, so if you have your cleaning guide and your house guides in one template, you can split those out quite easily to make use of the new functionality. So yes, Annabelle, send an email to support@touchstay.com and they'll help you with that. Another question, how is the pricing depending on the number of guides, templates? So the pricing stays the same. So every time you add a guide to your, so it's actually more beneficial for you guys to have guides in one account, because as you add more guides in one account, the pricing scales up favorably. It doesn't double each time. If you want to understand what pricing will look like for you, say if you're going from guides in separate accounts to in one account, go to touchstay.com and go to our pricing page on the website, and it will show you very clearly what the prices will be. So you can calculate that yourself. It's very straightforward. So yeah, the more guides you add, you have this nice pricing scale. So do have a look at that, and that will explain the prices that you need based on the number of guides that you would like to have. Another question, this is from Cynthia. How do we merge guides that have already been created in a separate account? Yes. So to do this, Cynthia, send an email to support@touchstay.com. This isn't one that you can do yourself. It has to be done by the wizards in the background. They'll be able to take those templates from the 2 separate accounts and put them into one account. You decide which account you want them to be put under and give a few pieces of information to the team, and they'll be able to get that done for you. So do send an email to support. A question from Mike. Will the cleaning template notify your cleaner of booking dates and number of guests? So yes, it can be done. So if you have your reservation information in TouchStay, so the dates of check-in and check-out, you can schedule messages to go to your cleaning or your cleaning crew on the specific days. So if you want a cleaner to come 3 hours after checkout and checkout is on X day, you can schedule an email to send on a checkout day. Now, this doesn't work perfectly at the moment because you can only have one integration per template. You can't have one integration working across multiple templates. There is a little way of hacking it. So if this is something you really want to do, again, please send an email to support@TouchStay and they'll be able to explain it to you. But we will be bringing functionality, hopefully very soon, to make it possible to kind of share the reservation information and those dates across templates instead of just keeping it per template. So stay tuned for that. If it's not urgent, it might be better to wait a little bit, but that will be coming because we know a lot of our customers have already asked for that. Question from Keith. How are the templates built? Is it just when you make a guide? Yes. So you could add 100 templates if you wanted. It's when you add the guide that you are amending your subscription. Because it's the price per guide is how we manage the subscriptions, whether you pay annually or monthly. So if you want to check what the cost would be for you based on the number of guides, go to our website, touchstay.com, and go to the pricing page. It's on that top bar, and you'll be able to calculate exactly what your pricing will be. It's nice and straightforward. Question from Karen. If our guide was made a while ago and we have custom guides, oh, you mean customizations within guides, can you start fresh? Absolutely. You can do whatever you'd like, Karen. If you feel that things have got a little complicated and you'd prefer to change things up, you absolutely can. The only thing is it can be quite tricky if you wanted to move a guide from one template into another. It's very easy to add a brand new guide, but if you want to move a guide that you've already created to another template, that can be trickier. And again, it can be done, certainly, but you'll need to send an email to support@TouchStay to help with that. Another question, can we connect TouchStay to Beds24? Not right now, but we will be expanding the number of integrations that we have available. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. Lovely. I have a StayFi account and OwnerRes PMS accounts. I should only integrate with one of them to TouchStay. Yes. So at the moment, you can only have one integration per account. So it doesn't matter how many templates you have in that account, it's one integration. So if OwnerRes is your PMS and that's how you're managing a lot of your business and your messaging to guests, OwnerRes would be the one to integrate with. Lovely. What else do we have? Does the messaging system integrate with calendars such as Google and iCalendar? It doesn't right now. That is something that customers have asked for in the past. There is a way actually of using our custom elements feature to drop a Google Calendar into your guide for if you want to share different dates or a calendar of events with guests, but we're not fully integrated with any calendars right now. But that is a request that we've had before. Another question, can we use connectors? Zapier is the one that you're mentioning here. So again, that's another integration we've looked into, and it's on our minds of things that we might do. So again, stay tuned for that one.